So today, we are making a recipe that truly defines what simple and delicious food is all about. We're talking the ultimate comfort food sandwich. Now this recipe is inspired by a local restaurant here where I live that's called Bar Restaurante Ecus. I was there not too long ago and the owner was having a sandwich for dinner before dinner service that's not on his menu. And let me tell you, when I saw it, I was completely blown away so much that I said, you know what, we have to make this here on Spain on a Fork. It's basically a sandwich that's made with a baguette, stuffed with roasted potatoes, Spanish Bravas sauce, garlic mayo alioli, and then topped off with a perfectly fried egg, folks. Not only is this recipe very easy to make with a sandwich, it's filled with so many Spanish flavors. Truly one of the best sandwiches I have ever tried in my life. Really quick before we begin, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Barbara Eastman, Karen Bird, Jim Schaller, and Uncle Bud. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. All right, let's begin by cutting 3 medium-sized potatoes that have been peeled, washed, and patted dry. Each one into small pieces that are 1/2 inch thick, which is 1 1/4 centimeters. Now to make this recipe, you want to use potatoes that are a bit more waxy than starchy. I'm using new potatoes. That way when you roast them, they hold their shape and they don't get mushy. Then I'm going to add the cut potatoes into a large bowl. Drizzle in 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, which is 15 milliliters. And we'll season with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll toss this together, that way each piece of potato is coated in the olive oil and seasonings. Then I'm going to add the potatoes into a baking tray that's lined with parchment paper and make sure they're evenly spread out and in a single layer, that way they evenly roast. And it's important to use parchment paper here, that way when you roast the potatoes, they don't stick to the surface. And we'll add the baking tray into a preheated oven, bake and broil option, that's the bottom and top heat, 210 degrees Celsius, which is 410 degrees Fahrenheit. If your oven can't do both functions at the same time, no big deal, just bake them for an extra couple minutes longer than I'm cooking mine, and make sure to get in there at the halfway point and flip them around, that way they're evenly roasted. In the meantime, let's start getting the rest of the elements ready for the sandwich. Let's begin by making the Bravas sauce. I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil into a large fry pan, which is 60 milliliters, and we'll heat it with a medium heat. After about 3 minutes and the olive oil is nice and hot, I'm going to remove the pan from the heat. Add in 2 teaspoons of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is 4.60 grams. 1 teaspoon of hot smoked Spanish paprika, which is 2.30 grams. And 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, which weighs in at about 9.5 grams. And we'll whisk it together until everything's well mixed and there's no lumps in there. Now the Spanish paprikas I'm using to make this recipe are from Kiva. These are truly some of the best Spanish paprikas I've ever tasted. Incredible depth of flavors. You'll find a link where you can get some in the description box below. And if you buy the paprikas from that link, you're also going to get 25% off your order. Once everything is well mixed, I'm going to reheat the pan with a medium heat. And we'll start whisking everything together, and at the same time, slowly adding 1 cup of broth, which is 237 milliliters. I'm using vegetable broth here, but you can also use chicken broth. You'll find a link where you can make my homemade vegetable broth in the description box below and iCard above. Once we've added the 1 cup of broth and it's well incorporated into the sauce, I'm going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of sherry vinegar, which is 3 milliliters. You can also use white wine vinegar here. And 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, which is about 3 grams. And we'll continue to whisk this together and cook it on a medium heat, and we're going to go for about 4 to 5 minutes here, or until the sauce has slightly thickened up. After about 5 minutes and the sauce has slightly thickened up, I'm going to turn off the heat. And we're going to leave our Bravas sauce to sit here at room temperature. As it starts cooling off, it's going to start really thickening up. For the next step, let's start making the garlic mayo alioli. I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of mayonnaise into a mortar, which is 115 grams. Finely grate in 1 large clove of garlic. If you don't have a grater, you can just finely mince the garlic. Squeeze in 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon juice, which is 5 milliliters. And drizzle in 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, which is 15 milliliters. We'll lightly season with a little sea salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll whisk it together until we end up with a beautiful creamy sauce, which as you can see is only going to take a few seconds. For the final ingredient to get ready, let's start making some fried eggs. We've got about 10 minutes left on those potatoes. I'm going to heat a small fry pan with a medium heat. And once again, add in a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is 60 milliliters. After heating the pan for about 4 minutes, and it's nice and hot, but as you can see it's not smoking, it's time to add in the eggs. Now before I add the eggs into the pan, I like to crack them into individual bowls. This ensures that no eggshells go in there and that the yolks are not broken. Now the secret to cooking a Spanish style crispy fried egg is just let it sit there in that hot olive oil without moving it. This is going to help crisp it up in the bottom. After about 1 minute, I'm going to tilt the pan and start splashing the hot olive oil over the egg. This is going to help cook the egg whites on top, but be careful not to overcook those egg yolks. You want them nice and creamy for this recipe. And we'll remove the egg from the pan. And continue to cook your eggs in this technique until they're all done. Once all the eggs have been fried, make sure to season them with a little sea salt and some freshly cracked black pepper. Alright, let's move back to the potatoes. They've been in the oven for about 40 minutes and they should be perfectly cooked through. I'm going to remove them from the oven. And you know, you can always tell when your potatoes are cooked through. You just pierce them with a toothpick, and if it easily goes in, they are ready to go. For the final step, let's start assembling our sandwich. I'm going to cut one baguette into 5-inch pieces, which is about 13 centimeters. And then cut each piece of baguette in half vertically. Then I'm going to add some of the roasted potatoes over the bottom piece of the baguette. Grab our Bravas sauce. As you can see, it's got a little film on top, which is completely normal. I'm just going to whisk this together to bring the sauce back to life. And as you can see, by letting it sit here at room temperature, it's really thickened up. Then we'll drizzle some of the Bravas sauce over the potatoes. Add in a generous portion of the garlic mayo alioli. Top it off with one of the fried eggs. And sprinkle it with some finely chopped parsley. Check it out, our sandwich is done, what I like to call the ultimate comfort food sandwich. This is known here in Spain as un bocadillo con patatas bravas y huevos fritos. Easy to make, such a beautiful presentation to it. Let's give this a try and see how it turned out. Seriously, look how beautiful this turned out. This I cannot wait to try. Good Lord, that is so good. I mean, this sandwich is basically Spanish patatas bravas with a fried egg on top inside of a baguette, in my opinion. It does not get better, and there's so many Spanish flavors, folks. Give this a try at home and indulge in this. You will not believe how good it is. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Foot community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego. Another episode done. Comfort food at its best. This is so good, it's like addicting. Give us a try, seriously. You're not gonna believe how good it is. See you in the next video. Love ya.